Hello, welcome back to my Flosstube channel, which is a channel all about cross stitch. My name is Rosanna, and I go by Bright and Dusty here on YouTube and on Instagram. I decided to pop on today for a Flosstube Extra. This is going to be a flip through with the camera oriented down like this. The first part is going to be vintage patterns from the 90s. These I picked up from an estate sale in December. So that's going to be like, you know, 30 or so patterns, I guess. After that, I will do some kit haul and pattern haul from either thrifting or eBay, that type of stuff. Then at the very end, I would like to do a flip through of a couple of Mary Engelbreit books, cross stitch books. I will save that to the end since I know some people aren't going to be interested in that. So let me just dive into it. This collection of leaflets, as I said, I picked up from an estate sale. Uh, this woman had owned a cross stitching store in the 90s, and this was leftover inventory. Um, there were quite a few duplicates in the box that I bought, uh, but I weeded them out, so I'm gonna try not to show duplicates here. And yeah, it's a variety of different styles, but yeah, all of them I think are from the early to mid 90s. So here is one by the Cricut Collection. I was happy to get this one. I love the Cricut Collection sheep. I have several sheep patterns, so this was exciting for me. I would like to stitch these sheep, definitely. The name of this one is The Sheep in the Meadow. And I think this was the only Cricut collection in this stash. There were quite a few of these color charts brand. This one's called Peaches and Plums. So these are really nice and colorful, very realistic looking. Yeah, and you can tell from the name of the company, Color Charts. These are nice leaflets with full color, nice symbols. This is called Bedtime Story by Angela Pullen. The company is Forget Me Nots. I've never heard of that. This one really reminds me of Paula Vaughn style. Um, this is full coverage, but it is a very sweet design. Looks like there would be a fair amount of backstitching as well. These are computer generated symbols, but they're black and white. Needle Love Company, Bunny Hugs. These are just adorable. Yeah, I'm keeping this one because I do like the little way they did a stuffed animal little bunny there. This one's really cool. This is Leisure Arts, Zodiac mugs. To be honest with you, there were a lot of these mug designs in this stash. I don't think I brought them all out to show. This one is the nicest one. Um, yeah, these are really fun. And of course, you don't have to do them as mugs. You can just do them standalone. But you can see the designer is Holly DeFont, and from the Cooler Design Studio. So I always like the Cooler Design Studio. Once again, there were quite a few of these like tea towel designs, border designs. This was just a huge thing in the 90s. This one's cool because it has a few different holidays here. I mean, I might, someday just stitch up one of these Christmas ones just for the heck of it. But um, these fish are really nice too. Sorry, yeah. So you get quite a few with this. This is from Just Cross Stitch. It's a leaflet. The Design Connection, I'm not too familiar with that brand. This is just called Friends and Sisters. Um, I just love their little outfits. They're so cute. It reminds me of like Madeline or something. So here's the designer name. And yeah, these are black and white symbols, but they are computer generated. There were several bird leaflets, which I was really excited to get these. This is just called bi-level pintails with these ducks. The brand is Country Cross Stitch. Not familiar with them. And it says from the artwork of Larry K. Martin. So if you look in the corner here, they have a smaller pattern. I think that's really, really nice. And then, of course, you have the bigger one. Yeah, lots of details. Yeah, so this is one of those like red and black. Um, looks like they're computer generated. This one I love for the love of loons. This is another Color Charts brand. You get 2 loon patterns, and I think it is fantastic on the black fabric. If I were going to do one of these, it would be on black, like they show it. And you get a small one that has the loon with the baby on its back, and you get the bigger one with the pink water lily flowers. I love this design. I would really be tempted to do one of these at some point. This one is called Wood Ducks Morning Flight. Um, this is the True Colors brand, and the chart is in full color. These ducks are really, really pretty. Once again, you get a small one and a larger one. The designer is Michelle Johnson. Another Color Charts brand. This is called Family Outing with the Canada geese and goslings in the water. That is very pretty. That would be, I mean, for me, I would have a hard time stitching, you know, 6 little goslings like that. I think that would get kind of repetitive. And then the 2 geese, that's pretty repetitive. But the overall effect is really nice. This is the Misty Morning Teal. So another beautiful duck. Standing standing on a log, looking at the water. You can see a little bit of the reflection here. I really like the way they did that. I think this would look really nice finished. This is by the Raindrop Company, which I have heard of them. I think I have a couple of their charts. But yeah, that is really, really nice. So these are hand drawn, mostly black and white. If I were going to do this, I would have to rechart it in WinStitch. Okay, here's a Leisure Arts. Nature Portraits 4 designs. So there's the two here. Blackbird. That is so cute. Here's a bird with the nest. And then on the back, you get a couple more. That one might be my favorite, the one with the acorns. Oh yeah, it's called a flycatcher. It says on the inside, and you can see they included the fly. So that's really beautiful. This one is probably my favorite out of the four. And then here is, I forget what these ones are called, but they're really pretty. They have some red highlights on their feathers. So yeah, and Leisure Arts charts are really nice. They're always in color like this. As you can see, there's a fair amount of backstitching. Oh, this one is so pretty. Autumn Spirit Color Charts brand. Look at this pheasant. Wow. And you get the little farm down in the background. This is so beautiful. And I think if you picked some kind of hand-dyed fabric, that would, make the whole piece a lot more interesting. Because on this neutral, it looks a little like humdrum. I would definitely do it on something dyed. But yeah, once again, that's Autumn Spirit. Yeah, fall stitching. I kind of miss fall stitching. There were a lot of florals, which I think we're getting into now. This is Sweet Memories, designed by Karen Avery, and the brand is Dimensions. Um, so this is a beautiful one for spring. All these pastels, pink, lace doily, goose, sewing basket. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Paula Vaughn as well. Tons of detail. Here's another color charts brand. It's called Topiaries by Marion Parker. Yeah, these are very detailed. It does look like there is a lot of backstitching. So, I don't know about these. They are very colorful though. Here's another Dimensions leaflet. It's called Bouquet of Pillows. So, you get a lot of roses. And then on the back, I think they show you with different backgrounds. Yeah, these look really nice on black. Like this one looks really cool on black. I absolutely love Jeremiah Junction. I think their designs are so bright and fun. Um, I think this was the only leaflet from them in this collection, but it's a really nice one. Uh, and this pillow here with the baskets, it does not look like there's much backstitching. There's a little bit to make the twigs, but to me, this looks very modern. Kind of reminds me of Primrose Cottage, actually. And then this one's very similar. Yeah, these are so pretty. So I was happy to pick that up. This is Plain and Fancy collection by Homespun Elegance, Pretty Posies. So this is just a cute basket with some flowers, and the centers are obviously buttons. Um, so just a sweet little design there. I have a lot of these Homespun Elegance. Yeah, it looks like the symbols are hand drawn on this one. Cross My Heart Incorporated, Renaissance Roses. So more flowers. Yeah, that's really nice. And then, oh, yeah, on the back they show it as this beautiful shawl. I would have never thought to make a shawl with cross stitch, but I suppose it could be done. That's beautiful. Marion Parker's Symphony of Pastels. This is another Color Charts brand. So another one for spring. It looks like this is exclusively flowers. I don't see any animals. I don't see any butterflies. So if you're looking for just strictly floral, these are really colorful. This is Leisure Arts Say It with Roses. I believe this is just an alphabet, right? Yeah, you can see there it's an alphabet. And then you get the little heart design, I guess. Here is Elegance, another Color Charts leaflet. Um, this is just a very large bouquet. It's gorgeous. I think for me, this would be a little monotonous to work on. And then I think there's a lot of backstitching. But yeah, really pretty. I think we might be getting toward the end of the flowers here. Barbara Mock, Petals and Pearls. Yeah, I have several designs by Barbara Mock. I have a couple of kits. This is a Dimensions leaflet. Once again, this very much seems in the style of Paula Vaughn. I think this was just a very popular style at the time, and everybody was kind of trying their hand at it. And this is very pretty. That's a ton of flowers. This will be really good for the Strawberry Moon Sal in June. Seeing Red, designed by Diane Arthurs of Imaginating. And you get a couple of different kinds of berries here. Strawberries, and then cherries. Looks like raspberries here. So, yeah, a lot of like backstitch type embellishments. But this would look so pretty on the wall. And here's some smalls. Bibs, booties, and bonnets. There were quite a few, like, baby things. I didn't bring them all out, but this one just had a wide variety of stuff, so you can see there's all these different animals doing various things, and you could always just stitch them on their own. It doesn't have to be like a baby sampler or anything. Like this bunny is cute over here. This is my favorite out of this book. The bunny wearing the bonnet. But yeah, there's some bears and stuff. And then yeah. Some more on the back. I think these were also on the front, so they're just kind of showing them again. This is a Canterbury Designs Cowley Primitives Collection 1. This is just kind of a random assortment of stuff. Vegetables, houses, birthday cake. This is probably my favorite, the Scotty dog here. I like that with the bow. And these rainbow hearts are actually really cute too. I just noticed those. On the back, it looks like mostly the same stuff. A cute farm here with some sheep. Yeah, this seems pretty old. Uh, Black and white symbols, computer generated. Merry Christmas, Victoria. This is the Ashley Court brand, and I actually love this. I love this stocking. I would maybe do that someday. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, definitely not your typical Christmas stocking by any means because it's pink. Um, then there's some smalls. This holly wreath. That's very pretty. I think that will look better on a different fabric though, but it's beautiful. And I think that might be it for this one. Oh, they have I think they're just showing you the smalls in some different configurations back here. Yeah, I like these little jars. I'm always kind of on the lookout for these jars where you can pop out the plastic and put a cross stitch in there. I haven't found any yet, but maybe someday. Parasols and petticoats. I do not even see a designer listed here. Maybe on the back. So these are some country scenes. Picnic. Praise loudly, blame softly. That looks like a mom with a couple of kids there. Down here is a baby carriage. Old style, Victorian style. And I think the reason I kept this one for myself is because I love this Victorian boot up here. If I was going to stitch anything out of here, it would definitely be that boot. And then there's some flowers. But yeah, that's weird that there's not a designer on the front. Oh, it's Stony Creek. Okay. I was really confused. All right, so that solves that mystery. That's so... I don't know why it's not on the front, but whatever. Here's another Stony Creek Easter beading. So these are just some cute eggs. Once again, these would probably look nicer on a different fabric. But these would be really quick, easy smalls to stitch like into ornaments or something for an Easter tree. That would be neat. I do not like the lace, but that's just me. Here's a couple of weird ones, both by Fancy That. They're called Mascots. This is Mascots 1. And yeah, it's all these like Greek fraternity, sorority type of thing. I have no idea what they stand for. Maybe you recognize some of them. But it's just, you could just stitch the little animals by themselves. I like the unicorn here. This squirrel is adorable. So, yeah, these are pretty odd, but and then I also have the number 2 mascots, which is the same idea. Um that sailboat is really nice. That would be nice on its own, as would that kite. And then there's a crescent moon and a turtle and a lion. So there's a wide variety here. Oh, here's some more of these mugs. Monogram mugs. This is a charter publishing company. I've never heard of them. This one I just like because it has stuff like an elephant. It has a couple of Santas. Just random things. The elephant is very cute. There's a wolf. So this seems pretty old. These are hand-drawn symbols and they're black and white. Here's another one of these with the towels. Very popular 90s style. Cross My Heart Company, the total towel book. There's 50 designs, so clearly they're only showing a few here. There is a mermaid, there is a peacock. There's watermelons, cornucopia. There's some Christmas, fall, teddy bears. Swans are really cute here. That cat. Country Little Bits by the Cross Stitch Cupboard. Yeah, I mean, some quilts. Things that you might see in a country style kitchen. Pot holders. Hand drawn symbols, black and white. Bunny Trail. This is a Pegasus Publications. You can see their symbol up here. I really like these bunnies. I like this one that's really chubby. This one's so strange. My mom's some bunny. Okay. Uh yeah, I would definitely not stitch any of these words, but the bunnies themselves are very pretty. And with these two, you get the borders, the cabbage and the radishes, And then the cabbage and the carrots. I do like those. Let's see on the back. You got some bunnies skiing, dancing. You're some bunny. Okay. I have so much to do, I'm going to bed. Alright, well, I can relate to that. That bunny looks mad. So, yeah, these are computer generated, mostly black and white. This one I thought was really cute. Lavender wings. It's called Alvin P. Bear. The P stands for Phineas. This would be really fun, small, to stitch up. I don't know. I love those balloons. I just think this is really, really cute. I have a couple others by Lavender Wings. I think they're Halloween. So this is definitely not Halloween. Computer generated symbols in black and white, and there is a fair amount of backstitching here. Sudbury. Stitched with Sudbury clocks. Donna Vermillion Jampa, I think she designed a lot of stuff in collaboration with Sudbury, because I have a few other leaflets by her. So clearly, I don't think you can get these wooden bases anymore, but I would just be inclined to stitch these animals on their own. That little chipmunk is very, very cute. There's the cats, and then there are some bunnies. But that chipmunk is my favorite. Yeah, these are hand drawn and they're black and white. Oh, actually, no, they're computer generated. Needlework niceties. This is another homespun elegance. Yeah, I feel like homespun elegance was kind of in the needle book game before it was really a thing. So yeah, some of you might really like this type of thing. I mean, I like needle books. I haven't made one yet. Needle books, scissor cases, all those accessories. If I was going to stitch one of these, I believe it would definitely be the bear holding the bouquet of hearts. That's adorable. All right, I think I'm going to pause here, regroup. I will assemble the kits and stuff that I mentioned. Those are going to be more modern. But I think I'm done with the 90s stuff. So hold tight. Okay, I'm going to try to keep the crinkling to a minimum, but a lot of these are wrapped in plastic, so I'm just warning you now. There might be a little bit of crinkling. These two are the buttons and beads, Vino Bianco and Vino Rosso. I bought these from two different sellers. One of them had the thread, one of them had the beads. So I was like, okay, between the two of them, I can sort of assemble more or less a full kit. And I have a lot of beads that I can supplement. But the colors between them are the same. So, and I don't think I would stitch these on the perforated paper. I think I would do fabric. This one actually came with the original button, which was nice. But I like these designs. I live in the Finger Lakes, which is wine country up here. There's a lot of vineyards all around us. So I do tend to like the vineyard cross stitches. And I like both of these. There wasn't one that I liked more than the other, and I think they would look really nice as a pair. You do not get the tiny pattern. This is like a separate thing. Uh, so I don't know why they put it on the cover. That's kind of confusing. I was watching Red Stitchery. I think it was Red Stitchery, and she had showed this chart, and I was like, "Wow, that is so cute." I bought that one immediately after watching that video. It's just Nan. It's called Victor's Stocking. And I'm thinking, even though the entire stocking is adorable, I'm kind of thinking I would only stitch the bear. That's what I'm leaning toward right now, and just having that be a separate framed piece. Um, yeah, I know Thick Threads has the Fat Bear Weekly Sal. I was thinking of maybe joining in on that with this, but I haven't gotten around to kitting this yet, so we'll see. This I actually found at an antique mall. It's from Brenda Gervais. It's one of her older ones. It's called Love Letters, and I do believe this is out of print. I'm gonna just stitch this up really quick. I already pulled the threads for it because I just want to stitch it, and then I'll probably um unload the pattern. I mean, it's not worth a ton of money or anything, but I know there's people out there who would be interested in that. Uh, so this one, it came in an eBay lot that I bought when I bought those Vino Rosso. So this came with it. It's really pretty. I guess the company is Needle Poise. I'm not familiar with them. And this was a full kit with all the thread, which is nice. And I love Christmas. I love holly. I think this would look beautiful. Same thing with this one that came in the eBay lot. Shepherd's Bush. This is called Christmas Drawers. The cover photo is like really small, but if you look closely, it is drawers. It's a chest of drawers that are holiday themed. I really like this. This also came with the thread and the little beads and the fabric. So I'll definitely stitch this. I don't think it's going to take too long. Okay, this came in a different lot. This is Debbie Mum Ornaments. This is a dimensions kit from 1996. As you can see, this is pretty beat up. The owner had gotten a start on some of the ornaments. Actually, I think she may have done 3 or 4 of them, and they need to be backstitched. So I might just do that backstitching and cut them out and put them on my tree. But I like these designs. These are on perforated plastic. I picked up 2 of these Riolis kits. These are pretty recent, within the last few years. I think you can still get these. This is number 2117. As you can see, it is a flamingo um, made with a rose. I just think it's so pretty. Yeah, with Riolis kits, I'm always pretty careful. I generally only want to buy the ones that have cotton thread. Um, if I ever buy one with the wool acrylics because I really like the design, I think I would just end up switching them with DMC because yeah, I cannot do the wool acrylics. I have tried. They don't really work with my preferred needle. Here's the other one. So this is a crane, number 2212, called the crowned crane, and it's made with an iris. So these will look so nice on the wall as a pair or as pillows. This one's also cotton. The nice thing about these is that they don't really look all that big. I cannot remember if I showed this on the channel yet. I picked this up on eBay a while ago. Dreams of Tomorrow. Um, it's a needle treasures kit. This is very inexpensive kit. You can easily find it, I think. And I really think this is so sweet. I like the two people, watching the sunset with the castle. I would probably pick a fun fabric to do this on. And the floss is separated, so that's nice. Here are 3 charts by company Whisper by the Wind. I'm trying to collect Whisper by the Wind, the ones that have these gates and stuff. There's several of them. I haven't had a lot of luck tracking them down. I have an eBay alert for them. But yeah, these ones all popped up as one lot on eBay, so I grabbed them. And my thought is that I would maybe want to arrange them into some kind of scene where they're together rather than as separate pillows. Here's another one that was in that lot. It's called the Morning Tree. This one's not quite as interesting because this is all silhouette. But and then here's the last one, Moonrise. So you can see the gate here. Or the fence. I do like the way these are set up. So I'm still deciding how I want to arrange these, how I want to stitch them, but I think the designs are really compelling. As I mentioned in my last video, I've really gotten into the Gold Collection Petites. I was able to find this one on eBay. It's called the Bayside Cottage. I am very close to finishing Bicycle Afternoon. I'm really excited. That's going to be my first Dimensions finish ever, I think. And I absolutely loved it. I love stitching it. It was so fun. It's turning out beautiful. So these Gold Collection Petites, I'm just gonna collect them as much as I can. And yeah, Dimensions may be going out of business, or the company that acquired them, nobody knows if they're gonna continue stocking inventory. So I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm just kind of picking these up when I can. But this one's very pretty. Here is Designworks number 9888. This is called, I actually don't know what this is called. Maybe it says on the back. Vertical Rise. That's what it's called. Let's look at that orca. That is spectacular. So I guess they collaborated with this Wild Wings. I don't really know what that is. I'm wondering if there's some more in this series. I got this one on eBay. This is a Dimensions Gold. I picked this up at an antique mall. It's called Enchanting Geisha. Really beautiful colors. Unfortunately, yeah, this thread pack has some pretty severe, I don't know, coffee stain back here. I don't really have plans to start this, so I'm just gonna leave them the way they are for now, but yeah, they would have to be washed or replaced. This is this one I definitely want to stitch. It's called Day's End by Dimensions. This one's a little harder to find. I think I had an eBay alert for it, and then eventually it did pop up. But this is definitely my style, and I'm excited to stitch it. I have another Dimensions kit with a log cabin right now. Um, Twilight's Calm. So probably not going to start this right away, but I'm happy to have it in my stash. This is one of those ones that just came in a lot. So I wasn't like intending to buy this, but it just came with something else. Miniature Schnauzer Pegasus Originals. So if you have this kind of dog, you might, might want to find this one. And this was the kit version. I guess that Pegasus, I guess they did sell kits. I don't really know the story. Usually I just find them as leaflets, but it looks like they did sell kits for a while. Here is one of these Daydreams where it comes with the mat and then you just stitch the small the small part here. So that would be a very quick stitch. I like this Adirondack chair thing. Um, this one I might stitch as a gift or something like that. I found this at a thrift store. I will, I guess, just do a quick flip through of this Fantasy Cross Stitch 60 Spellbinding Designs. The designer is Leslie Tear. So there's this cover project here with the mermaid and the fish and the castle. This is the style of stuff that's in here. Here's a dragon. Here's a wizard. It's a close-up picture of the wizard. Looks like there's a smaller wizard here. All right, that's the one that was on the cover. Oh, these are nice. Yeah, it's kind of odd that these are in a fantasy cross-stitch book, but because these are nature. But these are beautiful. It also looks like they wouldn't be very large. This one with the beaver is probably my favorite. And there's more. There's an owl. There's a fish. Here is butterfly. What is this? Otter, raven, deer. Well, we saw the deer already, but there's the raven. Otter. There's a frog, a wolf. Look at this snake. I feel like we don't see a lot of snakes in cross stitch. That one's really cute with the thistles and the crescent moon. And then, sorry, I'm trying not to show the charts. There's a bear and the snow goose. And then we already saw the beaver. So that's a really great collection there. Oh, wow, look at this. A unicorn. That looks like that'd be quite a bit of white stitching. But this would look magnificent on the wall, for sure. Okay, and then look at this unicorn. So that's definitely medieval tapestry style unicorn. Very cool. Then there's a few fairies. With the bluebells and various flowers and things. Snowdrops. Here's some more. With a poppy. Butterflies. And that one. This is a pretty big zodiac project. Lots of detail there. There's a larger photo of it. Medieval myths is this section. I think this is an alphabet with some backstitched figures. Yeah. So it gives you all the letters. It's with various different medieval style animals. You get the idea. They give you another alphabet here, which is like purple. And then, okay, this is the dragon that they showed at the beginning. And I think that might be it. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this book, if that's your style of thing. There's certainly some things in here I would be inclined to stitch, like that beaver was really cute, that snake. So, a wide variety of stuff. Okay, now why don't I move on to my Mary Engelbreit section. If you have no interest in Mary Engelbreit, you're not going to miss anything after this. The reason I'm doing this is just I was watching Stephanie cross stitch the globe. She did the most expensive kits. video a few days ago. I really enjoy that series that she does. And one of the kits that popped up on the list was a Mary Engelbreit, and I was really surprised. And it was not one I had seen before. It was of Santa wearing a black cloak with flowers and stuff, and I think he was like giving some presents to some woodland creatures. It was beautiful, and it was a stocking kit. And it was on the most expensive kits list, so I'm never going to find that one, but I thought why not just do a flip through of my Mary Engelbreit collection. It's 2 books, 2 kits, and a couple of standalone patterns. Just to, if you're interested in stitching Mary Engelbreit, you don't have to buy a really expensive kit. These books are extremely affordable. You can go get them on the second hand market for like $5 plus shipping, something like that. Very, very inexpensive. This kit is the Teacup Mouse. This one's a little harder to find. I mean, I think you would pay probably about $25 for this, if you found it on eBay or something, but nothing outrageous. And this might be my favorite Mary Engelbreit pattern that I have. And if I do stitch one, it probably would be this one. And I did get the full kit, and it comes with the mat. So that's a really nice one. The other kit that I have is No Place Like Home. Once again, the kit, if you get the kit, it comes with the mat, and then you stitch the inside. I will show you, this pattern is also available in one of these books. So if you like it, you don't have to get the kit. You could just get the book. Here's a couple of standalone patterns. This is Believe with a Santa and a stocking. This is a Dimensions leaflet. This I know was also released as a kit, but you can just get the pattern and stitch it that way. And you get some ornaments. And the other leaflet I have is not Christmas. This is just called Chair of Bolies, which is a riff on Bowl of Cherries, obviously. And it just has a variety of little cutesy patterns. I'm not as into these ones. I prefer her Christmas designs for sure. But there are a lot of leaflets out there of Mary Engelbreit. So why don't I go through this book first? This is Mary Engelbreit cross stitch. There's a variety in here. There is some Christmas and then various other things. So there's one with the little girls. The nice thing about this book is that they show elements of the design separated out into smaller patterns. So it's very easy to just stitch separate elements. It's a bigger photo of that. It's kind of cool they made that into a little cake embellishment there. Okay, that's the same thing. Here is My Best Friend. Flowers are lovely, love is flower-like, friendship is a sheltering tree. So that has a very elaborate border on there. But they do show you some smalls from this design. Okay, here's another cutesy one. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln, okay. Sometimes I just don't understand why in cross stitch they just kind of like throw in some random inspirational quotation that doesn't really fit with the context. But whatever. They show you how to make these into little dolls. That's kind of cool. Okay, love comforteth like sunshine after rain. This one's much more naturey. You got some animals in there. I do like that. And they show you can separate out the swan. They show you how to do it as a bookmark. Pincushion. Here's some more with some sayings on them. I'm not really that into stitching words, so this is pretty with the garden and everything. That's a nice one. It's a bigger picture. They show you how to do the border as a hat, ribbon, pillows. There is one with a dog. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. Okay. So that's cute. It's Western. Whoops. Shook the phone. Whoops. Okay. Western. That's pretty neat. And then they show you how to do the dog by itself. Okay, this is the same stuff. They embroider the little Western animals onto a shirt. All right, so this is what I was talking about. That kit that I showed you, the pattern is provided in its entirety in this book. The other thing is, in the kit, the mat is a paper mat. In the book, it's stitched. They also show you a separate pattern to do the small version here of just the house, which I really like. That's one of my favorite ones in this book. So there's a larger photo. They show the border by itself, stitched as picture frame. And then here is how they did the house on its own as a pillow. Here are some autumn ones with acorns and oak leaves. Here's a larger autumn project. Make a nest of pleasant thoughts. So lots of detail up there in that tree. It's very pretty. And once again, they show the border done as a picture frame. And I think we should be getting into the Christmas ones at the end of this book. Here's winter. The goal of life is living in agreement with nature, with some birds. Here is a child filling up the bird feeder. They show the bird feeder by itself. and do a little border here with baskets. This is the same stuff. I mean, they do show you the birds as a banner. This has a child skiing to a friend's house. The road is never long. Yeah, my favorite part is the background here. They show you this as a separate pattern. I'll show you in a second. Um, that's really pretty. Yeah, so if you want to just stitch the house under the moon, they have a separate chart for that. All right, and here is the Christmas one. So this is not the one that was on the most expensive kits. This is a different Santa, but it is just as beautiful, I think. So it's Santa with a very ornate coat, and then you've got these little bunnies dancing around. I love that they show it as the top of a stocking. I think that would be beautiful. Just that little section. And yeah, the nice thing about this book is they do provide a separate chart. It's like you don't have to figure it out yourself. They give you a separate chart to do it this way if you want. And then I believe this is the last one. This is Lion and the Lamb and a little angel. Another Christmas one. Oh, yeah, the one thing, the border on this large project are reindeer. This would be very cute on its own, or you can incorporate it into a different project. So that was that book. I have one more book, and it is Totally Christmas, Mary Engelbreit. So I will flip through that in a second. All right, I just feel like I've been talking for a really long time, so I had to take a little break. But here's the final book, Mary Engelbreit, Christmas Ideas Make Good Cheer. It's interesting because it doesn't even say cross stitch on the front of this book. But this is a cross stitch book. So just so you're aware. And yeah. Let me see if I can find the first chart. Yeah, there's other crafts in here as well, but it is a lot of cross stitch. So here is a perforated plastic little box with stars. Here they show it as a cushion. You could easily just stitch this on its own. Here's what it looks like in its entirety. Toys, Christmas toys on the black fabric. It is beautiful. So they provide you with this full chart. All right, yeah, as I said, there's some other crafts as well. Here is, they show it as like this fun little pouch. Um this one's really really cute. It's got an elf and then this zany gingerbread man swinging from a branch. I would just do that on its, I would do this piece as its own thing. I think it would be adorable. And then down here you have the kids singing. Here is a mitten. Yeah, this is going to be tricky not to show the charts. Basically, it's just a bunch of mittens, you can see. Here is a larger project. I love the moon in this one. Yeah, I just love all the colors. I think these are really fun. All right, so we got some other crafts sprinkled in between. Let me find the next cross stitch project. This is just poinsettia band here. All right, this has to be my favorite one in the book. Actually, it's between two things because there's another Santa at the end that I really like. But this is a reindeer. This is gorgeous. The one thing that bothers me a little bit about this is that the top of the antlers are not charted. This is the way it was designed to suggest that the frame is like cutting it off. I do think it would be pretty easy to just fill in, the antlers if you wanted to. But that's like the one little thing that kind of bothers me. But I think this is a really pretty design. Okay, so here is a stocking of Santa. Once again, very colorful. Lots of detail. Oh, so this is the one that was in the most expensive kits. And when I saw this page here, I got kind of excited because I was like, oh, is this in the book? Unfortunately, it's not. So this is the one that I think would be pretty impossible to track down. And you can see why it's highly sought after. I mean, it's so beautiful with the little animals and everything. Yeah. So sadly, this one was not charted for the book. Um, but that's okay. Okay, we got some more crafts. Yeah, there's more cross stitch projects. It's just taking me a while to find them. Here's a brother and sis dolls. That's what this is called. They show them as stand-ups. And then, all right, so it looks like there's some knitting projects. Here is a gingerbread man. Very cute. Uh, okay, so this is my other favorite one in the book. It's called the Believe Sampler. So this is different from that leaflet that I showed you. This was also called Believe, but this is a totally different design. This one is in the book, and yeah. How fun is that? Look at all these toys. That is so fun. So for me, out of this book, it's between the reindeer and this one as my favorites. I like them both. I show you how to make a little stuffed animal dog. This looks like there's some I don't know enough about knitting or crochet to know which one that is, but you get the idea. Okay, these guys are funny. These little egg people. Like, what is going on with this? This one is hands down my favorite. I gotta stitch that egg man. All right. And then I think there's one more cross stitch project. Yeah, this really nice just Christmas banner type of thing. The beautiful part about this is the border that has the presents and the candies. It's really lovely. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the end. And they give you a nice index here. Yeah, because there was just a lot of stuff in this book. Um, yeah, I don't have plans to start a Mary Engelbreit project immediately. Clearly, if I was going to do one, it would be a Christmas one. But it's something to think about, maybe, more towards fall, winter, maybe doing a start along. Uh, because I'm into these designs. Some of them are a little bit too cutesy for me, but I do really love the Christmas ones. So anyway, just in case you were curious about Mary Engelbreit, I thought I would do that little flip through. Uh, Other than that, this has turned out to be very long, and I'm going to stop here. My microphone ran out of charge right there at the very end of the video. I'm just really relieved that it didn't cut out a lot earlier because I wouldn't have noticed and then I would have had to refilm. Luckily, that did not happen. Anyway, all I was saying before I was cut off was that I'll probably be back for a regular Flosstube video in like a week or two. I was hoping to maybe finish the bicycle afternoon before my next video. I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen, but in any case, I will be back and you can see me then. But until that time, I hope you are enjoying the beginning of spring here. It's finally starting to get a little bit warmer where I am, which is really nice. So enjoy some outdoor weather. And yeah, until the next time, happy stitching. Bye.